Staring at my laptop screen, ready for the Python scene. All those lines of text so clean. Let's code and chase that dream. Python world, here we go. Write the script, let it flow.
In this video, I'm going to give a quick tour of our OWL Brightspace course site, so you know where everything is. So this video is intended for the in-person section. If you're in the online section, your course may be laid out slightly differently. So what we're looking at right now is the home page for our course. And this will grow as we go through the different weeks in the course. So right now there's just course overview and week 1 introduction to Python. Each week a new unit is going to be posted, and this list will grow, and there'll be a new unit for each week. In this box here, we're going to have announcements. So if an announcement is made in the course, it will pop up here. We also down here have some important links to information that you might want to look at. Things like the course syllabus, the instructor's contact information, teaching assistant consulting and contact information, our access to Gradescope, where we'll be submitting assignments, as well as access to our SciBook. That's going to be our e-textbook for the course. So the main thing that you should be concerned about are these units. So we can take a look at the course overview unit first, and this is going to contain all the information you need to know to get started in the course. And we'll start off with this page here. So each unit has basically a quick summary page that basically tells you a little bit about that unit. In this case, it's going to tell you a little bit about the course because this is the course overview unit. The first page in this unit is going to give you information about your instructors. So we have 3 in-person sections, and each one has a different instructor. So you can click on these different tabs to view your instructor's contact information. This is me here, and if you want to get in contact with me, you'd use dservos5@uw.ca. If you're in section 1 or section 2, you can click on these to access your instructor's information. When we have our teaching assistants assigned to the course, we will have them listed here, as well as schedule for their drop-in consulting times. We'll let you know when this is updated. You can find the course syllabus here, and it is important that you read this over. It's going to contain lots of important information about how this course works, how late coupons work, and other things that will be important to determining your final grade, and all the policies and rules for the course. So please read this over as soon as possible. The next page is going to be the required textbook, and this is going to tell you how to access our textbook. I also have a separate video on this, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but note that you can purchase it either from Western's bookstore or directly from the SciBook site. They should be about the same price after you account for the currency differences. We also have a bunch of videos to tell you how to get set up with the course. So there's things like how to register for your textbook. There's this video on how to use OWL Brightspace. There's a video on installing PyCharm, which you should also look at right away because this will guide you through how to get all the software you need for the course. We also have links here to some important sites. We have a link to the SciBook, which is going to be your textbook. You just click Open Window, and this will take you right to the textbook. After you've signed up for that, you'll have an account, and that will let you access our textbook. We also have a link to Gradescope here. Gradescope is going to be the software we're using for submitting assignments. It has an auto-grader that will automatically evaluate a large part of your assignment, give you feedback right away. So you don't have to wait for a TA to remark it, and then you can use that feedback to resubmit your assignment and improve your grade up to the due date. Depending on which section you're in, you'll also see a link for the iClicker site. iClicker is going to be used in class, and that's going to mark your participation as well as let you answer questions that we ask you in class. So depending on which section you're in, you'll see a different link, and this will take you to that section's iClicker site. You can follow that link and get signed up with iClicker. Let's take a look. So this should take you right to the course for your section. Make sure you select the right section. For example, if you're in section 3 with me, you'd select section 3 back here. If you're in section 2, you click on section 2, and so on. Then you can follow this link, sign up for an iClicker account, and input your information. One important thing is to make sure that you use your Western UWO email address so we can track your progress in the course and make sure that gets accounted for in your final grade. We'll also take a look at this in class. We also have other resources here that will allow you to access things that are helpful for any course you're taking at Western. This includes things like WTS, which will help you with your accounts and getting set up. Now, what you'll see most weeks in this course is a weekly unit. For example, we will start off with having week 1, but each week we'll have a new one added, and this will have really important information. So I recommend each week on Monday, you check out the course site. We'll update it around 8 a.m. on each Monday, and there'll be a new unit added. When you see a new unit, it's really important to go to the Overview tab. This overview is going to give you all the information you need to know for that week and all the tasks you have to accomplish. So for example, we have week 1 here, which is going to be on Introduction to Python. It's going to have upcoming due dates, and it's also going to have important tasks and bulletins that you should be aware of this week. For example, this week you should read the course syllabus, and you should take our course orientation quiz, which is just going to ask you a few basic questions about the syllabus to make sure you've read it. And you can retake that quiz as many times as you like. There'll also be links here to things like signing up for the textbook, making sure that you have PyCharm installed, as well as introducing yourself on the course forums. We'll also list assigned readings and homework each week. These will be links to the Zybook. For the in-person sections, nothing in the Zybook is going to affect your grade, but there is some great studying activities built in, so you can actually try out coding in Python right in the textbook as you're reading it, which is really great. We also have in-class activities and files. If there's anything you need to know about in-class for that week, it will show up here. And in weeks with labs, we will have a notice here that tells you what you need to know about the lab. Labs are going to start on January 20th, so you don't have to worry about this until that week, and then that week you'll have more information. Down here in the last box, we have a checklist of everything you need to do for that week. So as you go through the tasks for the week, you want to make sure that you check them off down here. And this won't affect your grade at all. We won't look at this. This is just for your own purposes, and Brightspace should remember if you checked one of these off, just so you can keep track of what you've done. Now, the next thing to be aware of are these section 00 number in class pages. You'll probably only see the one for the section you're registered in. But these are important because this is where your instructor will post any files relevant to what you're doing in class that week. So we can take a look at section 3, and you can see there's some slides here. So for example, if there's any slides that are given that week, they'll show up on your section's class page. So make sure you also check that out during class on the week that you're attending class. This is a bit of a flipped classroom, so that means that there are going to be lecture videos that you watch before attending class. You'll be able to find those in our lecture videos unit. If you click on lecture videos, you'll have a quick summary of all the lecture videos for the week, as well as the length of the video so you can budget your time. And there'll also be links directly to the slides used in that video, as well as a link to a discussion forum if you have any questions about that video. You can either click these links here to view the video or click them over here. For example, let's take a look at Introduction to Algorithms. And this brings you to a YouTube video that's been embedded in Brightspace. And there's a few important boxes down here that are relevant to the lecture video. The first one is Video Resources. If you click on this, it'll give you access to resources used in that video, including the slides, as well as a link to the discussion forum if you have any questions about what's going on in this video. And if there's any files or Python programs used in that video, there'll also be links in here that will give you access to those files. The other really important box is the Video Table of Contents. And what this lets you do is jump to a specific point in the video that might be relevant to what you're interested in. For example, in this video, if we're interested in loops, we could click that and it'll jump you right to that point in the video where I'm talking about loops. So this is great if you've already watched the videos and you're studying and there's something you really want to know about, just to refresh your memory on that. Or maybe you left off at a certain point in the video and you want to restart from where you left off. You can also use this table of contents from getting there. It's also great if you're working on an assignment and you need a reminder about maybe how like selections or sequences work. Then you could jump right to that point in the video. This also is a YouTube video, so you are free to watch it on YouTube. You can click the YouTube button right here, and that will take you to the video on YouTube if you prefer that. Now, there are a few tips I have about using YouTube that might make your viewing experience a little bit better. So if you want closed captioning, there is that option here. If you do that, it will give us closed captions. These are auto-generated by Google's AI, so they might not always be 100% accurate, but they're usually pretty good. The other important feature we have down here in YouTube is the playback speed. So this might seem a bit silly, but it is sometimes good to play it back a little bit faster or a little bit slower, depending on your studying style. Perhaps if it's something you're familiar with, you might want to switch to a faster speed, the 2 times, and then you can listen to it a bit faster. If it's something that you want to concentrate a little bit more on, you can always slow it down a bit, for example, to 0.5. And there is one more important feature, but it's only available if you're watching the video on YouTube. So we can click on YouTube, and that is the transcript feature. So if you want access to a transcript of the whole video, you click on More down here, and then you can click on Show Transcript. This will be the AI-generated transcript of the whole video. And what's great about this is you can do a text search. So we can look for the word loop in this video, and we can see the points in that video where I say loop. And when you click on one of these, you can jump right to that point in the video. So again, this can be really helpful if you're trying to find something particular while you're studying. Okay, let's go back to the OWL. Okay, a few more things to show you on our weekly unit. So another page you'll find is Supplementary Resources. These are optional in that they're not required readings, but they might be helpful on assignments or additional things if you're interested in a particular subject, or sometimes we'll also post links to Python documentation for particular functions or features that might be helpful on assignments. So again, you're not required to read these, but they might be worth taking a look at if you're stuck on anything or you found something interesting you might want to learn a little bit more about that. Another important feature is the next week lesson. So what this does is it lets you look ahead to see what videos are going to be offered next week. These are the videos that you're expected to watch before attending class on Tuesday. So if you want to know what videos are coming up, you click on next week. There'll be a quick summary here. It'll list the videos, and it'll also list the assigned readings. So you can get a head start on the next week and make sure you watch those videos before attending class. They'll have the exact same layout, where it will be an embedded video in Brightspace, and you can access the resources. This is an example of what a file might look like, and the resources if there is a Python program shown in that video. And then at the end of the unit, we also have that checklist again, so you can double check that you've completed everything. Now there's a few more features on Brightspace we should go over, and one of those are the discussion forums. So if you ever need help with anything in the course or you have any questions, a great place to start is with the discussion forums. So it's under Communications, Discussions. And here you'll find a few different forum topics. So for questions about assignments, as long as they're not too specific to you, we don't want you posting your solution, you can go to these forums and post your questions about the assignments. But again, please don't post solutions. Then we also have places for general questions. We have a place where you can introduce yourself and chat with your fellow students. We have general discussion for anything that doesn't fit into another forum topic. We have questions about ZyBook, as well as labs here. So if you have a question about a lab, you can also post there. Each week also has a video discussion forum, and this is if you have any questions about anything in those videos, you can post them in that week's video lecture discussion forum. So this should be your primary way of getting help, as long as it's not something specific to you, for example, an accommodation or illness, it should go to the forums. And that will be the fastest way to get help because multiple people can help you, any of our TAs, as well as myself or the other instructors. Some other important features are our glossary. And this is just a glossary of terms that might come up in the course. These are mostly related to Python and basic programming. We also have a place for assignments. So here you can see that we don't have anything posted yet in assignments, but when an assignment is available, we will have a link here, and that will give you a description of the assignment, as well as a document that explains what you need to do for that assignment. However, we won't be submitting assignments on OWL. Instead, we'll be submitting them on Gradescope, because again, that's going to give you live feedback and testing of your assignment as soon as you submit it, so you can keep working on improving it until that due date. We'll give you more instructions on how you submit on Gradescope when we get there in the course. The other thing you'll notice here is the quizzes section. So the only quiz that's going to be held online for the in-person section is the orientation quiz. This is a fairly casual quiz. It's just going to make sure that you've read the course syllabus and you're familiar with all the course policies. So when you click on this, you'll get a little bit of an introduction, and when you want to start the quiz, you hit Start Quiz. You can redo this quiz as many times as you like, and this one is open book. We just want you to read that course syllabus. It is important that you do this, though, because it is worth 1% of your final grade, and you have to score 100% on this quiz to get that 1%. However, like I said, you can retake it as many times as you want, and it is open book. Also, you will be restricted from doing the assignments until you've completed this quiz, so please do it as soon as possible. Next thing we should take a look at are grades. So when you have grades posted, they'll show up here. We can see here we have labs. This will be your in-person lab attendance. And as assignments and other things are posted, they'll show up here. And then the last thing is the calendar. So Brightspace is really great about adding due dates to the calendar for you. So this should give you a summary of all your different courses and all the different due dates that are coming up. So it's a great way to track of what's coming up and what's due in your courses. So I believe that covers everything in our Brightspace site. If you have any questions at all about how this works, you can either post on the course forums, or you can send me an email at dservos5@uwo.ca, and myself or another instructor would be glad to help you out with the site. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.